People Mover ride seems like it has never become ADA compliant. ADA means the Americans with Disability Act. We are hiking up! I feel like they're doing a really good job of like the loopholes and like trying their hand at different things, as you guys have seen, like with all the drama that's happening with Reedy Creek. In the spirit of talking about that, I wanted to talk about actually one of my favorite rides at Disney World, which has unfortunately let me down and let a lot of people down, which is the People Mover ride at Disney World. I had to switch locations because my pool deck is absolutely crazy. But the People Mover ride is, now there's jet skis speeding. The People Mover ride at Disney is one of my favorites. It's really one of the favorites for a lot of people. It's kind of like one of those classic rides at Disney. And as many know, it went through a refurb, the People Mover ride, where for like over a year, I think the People Mover ride was down. They were refurbishing it. They had a lot of like maintenance issues with the track. But what I want to talk about in this video, and it has a lot to do with, I don't know, kind of like the shadiness of Disney and how they just seem to like worm their way around things. The People Mover ride seems like it has never become ADA compliant. ADA means the Americans with Disability Act. It covers a wide range of areas, including making different attractions accessible to the public, as long as it doesn't like cause, you know, harm to the person. So for example, Universal could potentially say that a certain type of roller coaster, depending on the dynamics of a certain situation, may be unsafe for a certain person. But the People Mover ride, which is a slow-moving car ride, has actually never become accessible for the average person. If anything, it's one of the most inaccessible rides. It has this really steep conveyor belt-like thing that you have to stand on, and it's so steep. The People Mover! Steep! Oh my god, I cannot do this!
Oh, I guess when they stop the ride, they stop the...
Look at this journey that we just hiked up.
We are trying to get on the People Mover ride. The People Mover ride seems to be temporary stopped. So we are waiting to get on the People Mover ride, and I think someone dropped something on the track. So someone has shown up to correct that. So guys, it is back up running. The guy came with the scooper device, and I heard it was at Buzz Lightyear, and they had to go to Buzz Lightyear and pick up something that fell on the track. So they fixed it, and the ride is back moving.
That literally when I go on the conveyor belt, I am standing on it like I'm like surfing or like on a snowboard or something. It's so steep, and you will see older people as well as people who have like different mobility issues, and they're like holding up people, kind of trying to like stabilize them as they're on this conveyor belt. And they never built stairs, they never built an elevator. They had every opportunity to. A lot of people would be like, well, where is it gonna go? Where are they gonna build an elevator? You could build a freestanding elevator on the outside of the ramp, so you have the cars, the People Mover cars that are going around like that. And one way people are entering this way, you could potentially build a freestanding elevator on the other side and then have an opening which allows for them to then access their car from the other side. And then they would have to add on handicapped vehicles the same way they had to do for Tron, because wink wink, people couldn't fit. And, you know, I don't know what they were thinking with that with Tron. It's like, number one, that Tron ride seems brutal to get on, where it like bruises the back of your leg, and that's for a thin athletic person. And then considering that Disney's population isn't exactly the most fit gym going people, you know, I don't know what they were thinking.
The mighty People Mover.
Taking a ride that comes from that was in a very, very fit country, and then bringing it to the United States in Orlando, home of the turkey leg. What were you people thinking? Do you think that it's like they need their own People Mover ride, like another People Mover ride, where you can eat your chicken leg as you go? They never made this ride, the People Mover ride, ADA accessible. And you will read a lot of blogs online where people have talked about that this People Mover ride is completely inaccessible to the public. There is unless you are able to physically stand on this very, very steep incline conveyor belt, which hurts even people who are athletic. It hurts your legs to stand on it. Old people can't stand on it. Someone who's handicapped can't go on it. And quite frankly, that's not normal.
Transit Authority proudly presents Progress City, Walt Disney's dream for an experimental prototype community of tomorrow.
Robot! Hello, robot!
And they really went out of their way, Disney. It just has to do with cost. That they could have built a freestanding elevator that then people who were handicapped could go on the People Mover ride. And again, this kind of does tie into the Reedy Creek thing, because under Reedy Creek, Disney really didn't have to be accountable to anyone. I believe the ADA is a federal entity, so I don't really know how Disney kind of got around not having to make certain things ADA compliant. Maybe it was as simple as not letting anyone in there to inspect it because it was Reedy Creek. I don't know the answer to whether with the ADA there's a certain time frame that certain attractions could possibly be exempt, or if the business or attraction is able to make it ADA accessible, then they have to, and then perhaps Disney has just never disclosed that. I don't see why it would be impossible to build an elevator on the outside, a freestanding elevator. So I don't know what type of thing they're worming their way around to avoid building. It has to do with cost. They had it where the People Mover ride was down for over a year, and they could have during this time built a handicap car and a freestanding elevator so that people with disabilities can go on the People Mover ride. But at the end of the day, Disney doesn't care. They have not made this ride ADA compliant, and I don't know what loophole they're using to avoid doing that, or it's as simple as no one has reported them to the ADA and formally got in their attention and been like, there's this ride, these are the photos of what this thing looks like, this is where you could build it, and they don't want to do that. All kinds of shady, Disney, and it's really it's a rough thing for me to say, because that's coming from me as someone who grew up on Disney, and at the end of the day there's a side of me that does love Disney, and I wish it were better, but they never cease to not amaze me. Does that make sense? And yeah, I'm just annoyed, and I think that there's a ton of people that have always said this about the People Mover ride, can we make this accessible? And then in general, because this is a little bit different than accessible, or maybe it isn't, I don't know. There are a lot of rides, even people who don't have disabilities, that quite frankly are really difficult to get into. Every single time I try to get onto the Frozen boat ride, the one that took over Maelstrom or whatever that's in Epcot, I think I'm going to fall. Okay, it is so hard to grab onto that beam and get into that boat, and then there's usually water on it, and I'm literally terrified to get into that boat ride. The same with the Mexico boat ride, and a lot of those ones, it's almost impossible to get into this boat ride. I know when my dad goes on some of those, I'm trying my best to hold him. It's terrifying. It's I don't know what they were thinking, Disney. It's you're designing these rides, and it's almost you're not thinking about what your population that goes to Orlando, no offense, looks like. And it's how are they gonna fit? How are they gonna fit? That's what, when they built Tron ride, I don't know what they were thinking.
There's the Tron ride, huh?
To the metal and speed towards the checkered flag.
Look at that drop. Can you see it coming out of the hole there? You see the drop?
Chance to drive
I'm gonna take my hat off.
without worrying about getting a speeding ticket.
You see that drop coming out of the thing? Look at the nail card. That's a big no. Oh, this is the entire track. You're seeing it. Yeah, I cannot emphasize how much this is a no. I will not be going on this. No. That is not happening. We're not going on that. No. We're gonna be on the nice People Mover, and that's it. Now we go in Space Mountain without having to go on Space Mountain.
You're going from a country where everyone's really super thin and fit to the United States in Orlando, home of Kentucky Fried Chicken and the turkey leg. It's I don't know what these people were thinking, these designers at Disney. It's let's make a ride that no one can fit on. It's great. It'll inspire you guys to eat less, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that was their goal. I don't know. But then that wouldn't serve their capitalism issues of spending more money at Disney for less serving sizes. But yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this little talk of me ranting about Disney. And I will see you soon in my next video, and bye. And please enjoy some footage of the People Mover here. Bye.
Every time we enter here, it kind of freaks me out because I'm like, am I going to have to go on Space Mountain now?
We're now entering one of the real wonders of our world, Space Mountain. Blast off on a high-speed outer space adventure and careen through the cosmos.
Okay, they turned on the lights for us. What does that mean?
Attention all people mover passengers. Please remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Vehicle motion will begin immediately. Vehicle bumping may occur.
Ooh, look, exit people. So you don't have to feel trapped right there. When they come to rescue you, you okay. I don't like being stuck though. I don't like this. I don't want to be evac'd off this. Okay, now we're starting. Okay, good, all good. Move the right. Move the right. Okay, now it's starting. Okay. I get trapped. And then I'm like, how will I go potty? They all lined up for Space Mountain.
Approaching Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress. Inside this rotating theater, full families welcome
No
you
one
into
wants to
their
go on the
homes of
Carousel of
yesterday and
Progress?
today.
No line.
Starting way
I
back
wonder
at the turn
why.
of the 20s.
Join me on this daring space mission against the evil Emperor Zurg.
As an honorary space ranger, you'll use your own personal laser cannon to save the entire galaxy. This time it's laughter they're after at Monsters Incorporated. So drop in and join Mike Wazowski and all his pals at Monsters Incorporated.